Welcome, everyone. We are going to go over one of the newer features that's called content reference. It came after style reference, but you kind of need to use style reference to use content reference. And the main difference is that you're using your content reference is like an image that you already have that you just want to spice up. This, just to let you know, is a paid feature, unfortunately, for any free users that we have. It is unfortunate, but believe me, if you're on the fence about, getting a paid subscription, these new features are fantastic and definitely you need to try them. How we start is we go to our image guidance right here. So here's your normal generation page. You just go over one to image guidance and you get these little boxes right here. We're going to start with clicking on an image, which I have already uploaded because I wanted to be efficient. And we're going to go with this plain ordinary teacup because what's a Saigan stream without teacups? And we're going to start right off with it. Next thing you're going to do is this little drop down right here. It's defaulted to style reference, but you want to click it and go to content reference. And just as a little blurb, references the form and content from the import image to guide your image generation. So essentially, it just means it's going to use this image as the main image. We're going to click that. You've got 3 settings: low, medium, high. We're going to keep it at, we're going to put it on a low first. And then we'll do some other ones as well. And then the next thing you need to do is go over to this guy over here, the next window over. Click this, and then pick your style that you want to put onto your other image. So this little teacup right here, this white one, we want to color it up. So I've selected a couple of these. We're going to go with the fruit first. And again, it automatically defaults to style reference where you want it to be. Let's leave it at medium for now. I'm not putting a prompt in because I don't want a prompt to interfere with my image. I just want to use this image, no other interference, and I want to see what the style reference does. So to do that, you have to empty out your prompt and then just click spacebar, just so you get this little generation thing right here. We're going to be generating on Leonardo Anime XL. I'm going to actually move it to dynamic because that's the default. And we're going to generate and see what happens. While that's happening, I'm going to switch this up to medium and high just so we can see the difference. Alrighty, this is our first result. This is using our teacup, our plain white teacup. And this is using our style reference at low. So if you remember what we used, going back here, we use this picture of a variety of different fruits onto our little white teacup. So these are our first ones. This is again at a low setting. So you kind of see it's taking a little bit of artistic privilege, but it's definitely getting those fruits in there. The color is mainly what it's getting. But this is again at low. This is at medium. We've got a weird text over here, but again, you still see the fruit. You still see the color palette. This one's a nice one, same color palette. It's taking a lot of freedom with the designs that they're putting on the teacup. And this one kind of just did a ton in the background. This is high contrast reference with the medium style reference. Again, you see the same color palette, but it's kind of taking, again, artistic privilege. Instead of fruits, it's flowers. Same here. It's got a lot going on in the background for this one. That was only tweaking this part, the strength of your content reference. Now we're going to up this style reference to see if we've got a difference. We're going to keep this on high. I'm going to move this to high, and then I'm going to do it ultra, and then finally max.
So we have a question from Earl. He asks, is it mandatory to have the style reference? What if you don't want to add a style reference and just put fruit in the prompt?
The point of the content reference is that's your main image, but let's do an experiment. Solid color teacup. in a cafe. And we're going to go ahead and take off this style reference, and we're just going to do content reference. We're going to leave it on high, and we're going to generate. And while that's generating, we're going to go down here. So these are the images that we did earlier that had high content reference and high style reference. So again, you're kind of seeing a little bit of the fruit and definitely the color palette. Same here, you got some kind of flower fruit shapes. Same color. Oh, you got some bananas back here. I think those are bananas. Again, these flowers. It really wants to turn the fruit into flowers. This was on Ultra. Starting to see more fruit, some berries, some oranges, berries in the background. Still flowers, though. Strange, there's no flowers in the reference, so this is the AI just taking liberty. And this one is the Ultra. So this is, or max. So this is max style reference with the high content reference. So again, you see a lot more of the fruit, big berries, definitely has that the color palette. So yeah, so if you want more of that style reference, you want to crank it up to ultra or max. But you can kind of see the evolution that we've got here. So this is on low medium, this is medium medium, this is high medium, and then you've got high high, high ultra, and high max. All right, so this is our experiment. So this was our content reference teacup, and this was our prompt. Without the style reference, it's just going to take your picture and whatever's in the prompt and just try its best. It's mainly going to focus on your content reference image. So it's like having your content image at like 100% on like for image to image. Awesome. Okay, we'll do that. All right, I think we got pretty close. It still wants to put the fruit in the background too, so maybe we should do like solid white background and see what happens.
It looks like the style reference fruit images on max.
It is indeed on max. Do we want to put it lower?
I think the experiment was to do it without it at all.
Oh,
And
to
yeah,
no style
to have
reference.
like
Okay,
a complete control group.
boom. We'll do that too. Oh, this one completely ignored the solid white background, but this is the one without the style reference. It's just the content reference image and the prompt.
It did a good job,
It did
but
pretty decent.
not consistent across all the way. So you wouldn't
Nope.
necessarily be able to recreate the pattern, would you?
No, if you wanted to make a plate set to go with this, it would be a random fruit pattern. You know what? Let's do that real quick. Let's get a white plate and let's see if we can get something similar. So here's our white plate. I'm going to get this one in there real quick. Say bye-bye to teacup. All right, and we're going to move this over to content reference. Okay, so this is your white plate without the reference, style reference, but it has a similar prompt. It's like well, we'll take solid. I forgot to take out the solid white plate with fruit design on it. Okay, solid white out. These are the ones fruit design at max. All right, so next we're just going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to take out this prompt again. And we're going to go with a different design. Delete all these. I'm going to go with our little hippos over here. So the content reference is also really good if you have like black and white images that you just want to add color to, or, you know, just some kind of pattern or whatnot. So I've got my black and white one right here. We're going to grab these fluffy things. I'm not sure exactly what those are, but they're like poofs. I'm going to leave it on high. We're going to put that on medium, and we're going to see what happens. We're going at the speed of generation. That is no longer a hippo, or a very fluffy hippo if a hippo had fur. He kind of looks like a very angry groundhog. It just, where did my hippo go? Yeah, it just lost the hippo, so I'm going to put it back in the prompt. A hippo. Okay, that's more of the hippo look, but again, it's that furry texture that's making him look more like a rodent. He's a capybara. That's what he reminds me of. He's the other type of hippo, the rodent hippo. These are actually pretty good. I'm going to use the other hippo that I had to see if I can get some better results. It was working earlier. Okay, there you go. All right, so we're going to move that to content reference. Leave that on high. Leave that on, let's put it just at high. Ah, see, that's kind of the results I was getting earlier. So you obviously have your hippo shape, and this is the style reference fuzziness coming through, plus the color palette. Looks like he's got a little mustache going on here. And this is when I changed models. So you get more of the hippo. He's no longer black and white, but you get more of the color palette. A little bit of the fuzzies in like the grass. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is that if you're not getting the results that you want, change up the model, change up the pipeline, adjust your strengths, and eventually you'll get what you want or close to it. Oh, okay. Rhinoceros. All right, let me just do that real quick because it kind of already has that rhinoceros shape. I'm going to up this to ultra, see if I can get more fuzzies. Keep that at high. And we did one at Kino. Let me switch up the models a little bit just to see if we can get some variety. We'll do albedo, and we'll do diffusion.
We've got a few things going on in chat.
Awesome.
Robin's shared a lovely picture of teacup with some
Oh,
flowers, and then Mooney is saying that Roberto is saying in Tom's stream yesterday that's where the reference images were mattered to. I'm not sure what that means.
oh
Um,
yes, I do want to try
yeah.
that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that point.
Okay, so we've got that to look forward to. And then Earl has asked, can you use a style reference and in the prompt change the background to a cityscape or change background colour to white or a colour that doesn't appear in the style reference?
It is interesting. Let's test. So I put the rhino in, and this is just from Young's earlier comment. It does look like it's trying to add a horn. It's trying its very best to turn this into a rhino. You know what? Let's see if I can do one quick test on Young's thing. I'm going to move this content reference to low, leave rhino in there, leave that at ultra, and let's see if it turns into more of a rhino. And while that's generating, let's edit our prompt to give it a city background. And let's see, what's a color that's not in here? Looking at our poofs, there's no green. So I'm going to put something obnoxious, like neon green. Got a rhino, city background with neon green signs. We're going to put this back up to high. So we still get well, actually low, and then we'll generate. And while that generates, we'll go down here. Okay, so we wanted to turn our hippo back into a rhino, and putting the content reference on low actually seems to do a better job of morphing our hippo into a rhino. I mean, it's kind of weird looking rhino, but a rhino. That one looks more like a rhino. So depending on how much you want your image to look like the image is where you can adjust that, low, medium, high setting. Alrighty, so this was our prompt was a city background with neon green sign. We wanted to add a color that wasn't in the original style reference. And it looks like it didn't do it too well on this one. It's got the city. It's got, I guess these are like neon lights. This one put in the neon green, but it's not really a sign. You still have the city back here. And this one's got like this neon floor going on. I guess this might be a city. So this is probably our closest one. but you can still see the style reference very prominently. Let's try to lower the style reference to see if our prompt overtakes it. Let's move this down to low. We're going to keep this low, keep it a rhino. Keep that low, keep that low, keep that the same prompt. And we go. All right, Leonardo diffusion. I'm going to also do Kino again. Ooh, wow. Okay, so it definitely did what I thought it would do, which is if you lower the style reference, the prompt does have more influence. But you can still see the style reference. There's still a bit of a color palette in here that is reminiscent to it. So that's good to know. That's more of the city. I don't see neon. Well, a little bit of green. No signs though. He's just all green. He's got a little bit of the fluffies right here. Lots of fluffies. So yeah, so if you like the color palette, but you want to have another color added, it does work. You just have to lower your style reference strength. This one right here is when I switched it to Kino, and it looks like it looks like the style reference kind of disappears almost. Got a little bit of fluffy around its ears. This one, I don't see it really at all. And you got a little bit right here. So again, depends on model. Seems like there's a lot of different factors that go into this. Your model is important, your strength of your style reference is important, and your content reference is very important on the strength. Your prompt seems to be more important the lower these strengths get. So keep that in mind. All right. Do we have any other tests that we want to do here before we move on to experimenting on what Berto said yesterday in a stream?
I wonder if you could use the same style reference to make a fluffy car for Stephen.
A fluffy car? To do that, we'll probably just get rid of the content reference here. Just delete that. Up this to max and give it a new prompt. And we'll just see if we can get a fluffy car real quick. Stephen, do you have a car you would like to submit for content reference? So this is what we get just by using style reference on max and just the prompt a car. So the car didn't get fluffy, but everything else did.
I think that Stephen may have been experimenting with this idea already and had struggled to make the car itself fluffy.
Oh, okay. Yes, fluffy tumbleweeds. While we're waiting for Steven's fluffy car, we'll do one more experiment. We're going to get rid of this one. Get rid of our hippo. We're going to go for this lady right here. We're going to take out the prompt and we're just going to grab probably, let's do the little bolts and nails. Put that on ultra. And we'll just see what pops up while we're waiting for Steven. One of the fun things that I liked to do when this first came out was grab a random picture from my feed and try to merge it with another random picture from my feed. And I got some interesting results. Actually, let me go ahead and just do that now. So random generation from my feed. Don't worry, my feed is safe. Just going to scroll down for a million miles and see if I can just grab something. One that I haven't already experimented on. Oh, there's a kitty. Okay, we'll do the kitty. Oh, this is the kitty from the thumbnail. But yeah, right here. But we'll grab this kitty. Random pick and then another random pick. Let's put in something so I'm not scrolling forever. Perfect. Okay, we'll use this one. So 2 random picks. We're going to use the kitty as the content reference, and we're going to use this as the style reference. Going to put it on high. We're going to put the shape to the kitty, and we're going to generate. Oh, okay. I forgot to change the size. So this is what can happen when you don't have the right dimensions. So the lady was in portrait dimension and the pattern was obviously in the landscape dimension, and this can happen, unfortunately. Completely chopped off head and bottom half. So keep that in mind when you are doing your content reference with your style reference, is that this can happen. All right, there you go. So just to recap what I just did, random picture of a kitty, put it content reference on high, random picture of interstellar space, put it at high, and these are what we got. I have so much fun doing those. Okay, somebody pinged me. Oh, there's your car. Okay, let me download this car real quick. Download our car. There's our car. Put style reference on. I'm going to put it on high. I'm going to remember to change the dimensions. We're putting it landscape. And then do we want to make it fuzzy? So let's go back to our fuzzies. I'm going to put this on probably ultra. And I'm just going to do some guidance as much as I can in the prompt. Okay, I put a car made of fluffy cotton material. Let's cross our fingers. All right. So it looks kind of fluffy. It's obviously still the same car. It's got some fluffiness on the actual car and definitely around. This is the second one. It's definitely fluffy. It's, again, more of the car. And that's more fluffy. Okay, so it is, depending on how much fluff you're looking for, I think we succeeded. A very furry car. I wonder if you'd have to like take your car in to get like groomed. You know, like when you have like a dog that went outside and rolled in the mud, take him to the groomers. Might have to take your car to the groomers. Before we move on, is there any more things that people want me to test out just real quick? Oh, okay, let's do that. Yes. And this kind of comes into what Berto was saying the other day. Let me get rid of the car. Let's get rid of that. Before these import boxes, we've got 6 of them. When you're doing style reference, it doesn't really matter where the style reference picture is in all 6 of these, as long as one is labeled, style reference and the other one, or content reference, and the other one is style reference. So this one can be way down here, and these can all be filled with style reference. However, yesterday, Roberto mentioned that if you had more than one style reference, the order does matter. We're going to test that out because before it didn't matter. We could have all these filled with all different content reference pictures, and it didn't matter which order it was in. It would just all homogenize into one image. But according to Roberto, that is not the case. Your order matters. So we're going to test that. Let's get rid of her, and we're just going to fill these up with the style reference. I've got that one. Let's just grab this one. Let's grab broccoli because it makes Tom happy. That's my kitty, by the way. All right, so we have 6 completely different style references. Got this iron green thing. We've got some gemstones. We've got a rainbow. We've got broccoli. We've got embroidered flowers, and we've got doilies. And just to test this out, we're going to grab a prompt. All right, and I'm going to take out anything that would resemble a color palette. And we're going to take this out. So product photography, teacup, magical realism, whimsical, dreamy, secret sauce. Okay, so we've got 6 completely different patterns or style references, and we've got our prompt. It's on, we're going to put it on Vision since that's the one that they highly recommend for all of these features. Going to keep it on dynamic. Everything's on mid, and we're going to cross our fingers. And while that's generating, what we're going to do is I'm going to switch up the order. So I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to go down here and re-upload them down at the bottom. And we're going to generate again. We're going to do the same thing. Delete this guy, go down to the bottom, bring them back, and generate. And we'll do it again. Where's the broccoli? Add the broccoli back. Generate. Get rid of the flowers. Come back down here. Get the flowers back, if I remember where it is. And generate. So that's 4. 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. This is with that green up front. So these are our results. And to be honest, I think they're very pretty. I can see a couple of elements, but mainly, yeah, that green color. They've added flowers, so that's nice. That's very pretty. I'm not really seeing any of the rainbow, seeing definitely that green color. That's cute too. Wow, these came out great. There's that green color on the floor. All right, and this is what it looks like when we took the green color and put it on behind. And I still see the green. They're still kind of similar. Some wispies. I'm not really seeing too much of a color palette difference when we switched them up. I mean, this one definitely has some flowers like popping out of it when the other ones didn't. Okay, maybe it's just me, but I'm not seeing a difference. I mean, obviously the pictures are all different because of the prompt, but I think the color palette's all the same.
I think Stephen's suggesting that perhaps if the strength were higher, we might be able to see the difference more obviously. With this second row of images that we just did just now, you can see the gemstones from the image which was apparently the strongest. So I think it's the row 2 below that. Yeah, so you can see in that second image, you can see the gemstones like blurred out in the background from the style reference. And then on the third one, you've got that kind of, you see what I mean in that background, the blurred out bit is very much similar to the style reference image that went into the first box for this batch of images.
Yep, I definitely see what you're talking about right
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
And then the next one, the third one from that batch, it's got that gemstone right on the front of the teacup there.
So yeah, I left them all at default mid, but I think Stephen has a really good point.
He's saying that I've got that wrong, and what he's saying they need to be more complex, but I'm not sure what that means. Sorry, Stephen. Somebody suggesting using the seed?
There wasn't a seed since we just did it with a prompt. So, but we can grab a seed real quick. Let me just get rid of all these. Okay, so Robin is suggesting to change the sliders for each. We can try. I think when I did it before, when I changed one, they all changed. So we'll see if we can do them individually. But in a way, that kind of defeats the purpose of what Roberto was saying. Roberto was saying that the order of the images uploaded to the style reference affected which style reference was prominent. And that's what we're experimenting because I didn't think that was the case. Let me grab a seed real quick. I'm just going to do one image so it's easy to find the seed. Going to generate real quick. Okay, so this is the image that we just generated. We're going to grab the seed from it. Of course, I'm going to the wrong spot. Where's my seed? There's my seed. I'm going to copy that. I'll go down here, use the seed. Just in case people have never used this before, when you have a seed for an image, you can pop it down here where it says use seed. Click that on, post your seed in there. Ta-da. Okay, so now we have a seed locked. Go back to our references. Turn these all back on. So right now, they are all set to high. Let me see if I can adjust them individually. I can. From here, I can. I wonder if I could do it up here. No. All right. Okay, this is good to know. So I had them on high, and I wanted to switch this one just to medium, and I wanted all these to stay, but it doesn't. It all changes to medium. So if you want to adjust it, you should adjust it by image influence down here. So this is where you would adjust it, just to keep that in mind. But we'll leave it at a high. We'll leave all the influence the same, and we will generate with the seed, and then we'll experiment with moving the image influence.
And then Earl has suggested maybe we make one of them a content reference and leave all the rest as a style reference and just see what happens.
Okay, awesome. We can do that. Okay, so this is the seed. We kept the seed the same. This is with the rainbows up front. This is, we switched it around. I forget what was next. I think it was the wood that was next. And they look the same. All four of those look exactly identical.
I think that must have been the seed that made that happen.
So yeah, that was us using the seed for this one right here. We're going to keep the seed there, and we're going to adjust the strengths like Robin suggested. We'll just keep that one there. We'll go put this one down low. No, we'll put this one higher. 70. Put these lower. Trying to keep them all at like exact 35. And we're going to generate. And then I'm not going to move any of them around. I'm just going to move the image influence. So I did gemstones high, broccoli high, and then rainbow high. You can definitely see more of the gemstones. We're still using a seed. So this is the seed right here. So you can kind of ignore these two, but this is the seed. This one is using the broccoli more. And I guess I can kind of see more of the green in there. And this one's using the rainbow, and I can kind of see these little flecks right here of light is probably from the rainbow. But I mean, all in all, they kind of seem pretty similar. So you would have to kind of crank it up pretty high to see a difference. So I don't know if what Roberto said was true or not.
I think he was saying it's the top slot, so that first one has the most influence, but not necessarily then the order of all the others afterwards. So I can see the gemstones in all of those images. I can't necessarily identify easily any of the other items that we've got.
That is very interesting. I think that definitely needs more experimentation. But yeah, I definitely see your point in that the gemstones definitely took center stage on most of them because it was the first one.
Yeah, it probably depends on the type of image as well, because the gemstones there, they have got quite a high contrast. Quite, as an image, it's quite bold.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the other suggestion was to make one of them a content reference. And we're going to do that with our broccoli. Move ours to a landscape. And let's keep everything. Let's see. Move everything down evenly. So everything is at 35. It's at high. This one is the first slot. So in theory, the broccoli should have more gemstone than any of these others. We're going to generate that. Now I'm going to switch them up. I'm going to delete this one. Move it back down here. Move it back to 35. And then so technically this one would be next. So it would be more embroidered flowers. We'll delete this one. Put it at the bottom. Where was those flowers? There it is.
So Tom has suggested it may be worth doing the experiment again, but with just 2 images and then swapping them over.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that next. We'll get rid of all these. And then we'll go back to this girl. Make her our content reference. We'll do 2. So let's see, we'll do, I've got all these. Hard to choose. Okay, we'll do this simple one, the dandelion, the puffy part. And then we'll do this bright one over here, or the shiny one. We'll keep it at portrait. All right, so before we do these, we'll go back to our other ones. These are our broccoli. Oh, I had the seeds still in. Oopsie. That messed up that one. I forgot to take the seed out. All right, ignore this experiment. We'll go to the new one. Okay, so content reference at high. Nice girl right here. 2 style references. We've got the puffy dandelion and then we've got the sparkly bits. I'll put them both on high and then generate. And then we'll switch them around. All right, so we've switched places and we'll generate. Oops, error. What is this? Multiple style transfer images guidance input must have the same weight. It was. Oh, I see. All right, now they're all at high. Okay, that's something to keep in mind, is that this part right here has to be the same. So you have to have this on high, this on high. And if you're going to adjust it, you have to adjust it down here. That's good to know. Okay, so this is the pictures that we got with the dandelion first. She's very sparkly. And then these, when these pop up, are the ones with the sparkly first. Well, she's got the same top on. I guess this part over here would be the dandelion, maybe. Maybe the dandelion is too weak. Maybe we should go back to the broccoli. Same experiment, using broccoli instead. And now we wait. This is with the sparklies first. And this is with the broccoli first. So I can see more broccoli in this one, but not really in the other ones. Or, okay, there's more broccoli in the background.
Yeah, little treetops, broccoli treetops.
In this one, it puts the broccoli here. That's kind of green on the bushes. I don't know. I think it's kind of still the same. I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Do you think that the order matters or not? Because looking at these, this is with the sparkles first. and the broccoli second. But I can still see the broccoli in her shirt, the green in the background. And but when you go up here, this is the broccoli first. And like a picture like this kind of looks like the ones below. So I think if it does do it, it does it very subtly.
Have you got two reference images that are of similar strength, like similar intensity? So maybe the one that, so not the broccoli, but the one, leave that one and then change the broccoli out for the gemstones one that we had.
So change out the gemstone, this one for gemstones.
Yeah, because I feel like those two images have got equal pizzazz. So one of them isn't going to outweigh the other. That's just my theory.
They are also kind of similar, so let's see if we can see if there's a difference. But yeah, let's do an experiment. So this one's with the sparkly first, and then we'll do another one with the gemstone first.
Okay, we've got a difference of opinion in the chat about whether people think it makes a difference or not. So Stephen's saying yes, but it's quite subtle. And then Earl is saying probably not.
Yeah, I think it really needs a lot more experimentation. That's why I was trying to find two images that were very dissimilar so we could see the differences.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's like the difference is so subtle that it's
Mm,
hard to tell if it's just merging the two styles normally or if it really does have an effect.
yeah,
Like this one here is with the sparkles first.
yeah,
And you can definitely see the gemstones like in her hair, in the
yeah.
belt, in the background, definitely.
Yep.
And then here, this is with the gemstones first.
Okay.
And you can definitely see the gemstone. You can definitely see the sparkles.
Mm,
But the difference to me is so subtle that it's kind of hard to figure out if it really is working or not.
yeah, I know what you mean.
I definitely think that this needs a ton more experimentation. Hopefully, everybody has been playing with this. Sadly, this is a paid feature, style reference and content reference. So, unfortunately, our free users cannot use it. But this is definitely great features. So if you're on the fence about becoming a paid member, just know that you can have all these different little features. And these are fantastic. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up everything that I wanted to experiment with. Does anybody have any last minute tests that they want me to do real quick before we go into like a little questions?
So Earl had pondered the idea of whether the style reference should be the same dimensions. So if all of the images that you're using as the reference were all the same dimensions, whether that would make a difference to what you see.
The only time that it would make a difference is your actual reference image, because I don't know if you saw these down here. So this is what happened when I didn't put the content reference in the right dimension. It literally just cut off her head. So I guess we can do a quick experiment. It shouldn't matter the dimension of your style references, but we can do a quick experiment real quick. These are flowers, these are honeybees. We will keep them all on high. This is high contrast. They're all the same shape. We'll click this just in case, same ratio. Then we'll click. And now we'll do the same experiment. We'll get rid of this. Put her as the main size. These are also different sizes, and we will generate. So that's with it being everything's the same size. The style reference is the same size, the content reference, same size. So this is with the landscape picture content reference, and then the two style references or portrait size. If there's a difference, I can't tell. I am going to assume that it doesn't matter very much. If there is a difference, it's so minute that you can't tell. So we'll get rid of this one. We'll leave her. Actually, we'll get rid of her. And we'll go with that ice cream, that one. completely different size. That will be our content reference. This one's our portrait size, and we'll go with this one's our landscape. Alrighty, so these two are on high. This one is a 1 by 1, and let's find out. I guess I should make sure to take out my prompt over here too. We'll run it again without the prompt. But definitely what we did find out is that the prompt doesn't really matter if the content reference and the style reference are on higher settings. It's only when it's on lower settings does the prompt even matter. These are our ice creams, and that's our ice cream without the prompt. Okay, so all right, so there might be a little bit of a difference with if your reference sizes are different, because this one is a portrait and this one's a landscape. And we did kind of get two different type of views. So that might be a factor. Again, we would need to experiment a heck of a lot more to figure out if that is indeed the case. We did all of our testing live. So again, if anybody has any last minute questions or last minute test, could probably do something. Puka does have a new little community little contest feed. It's called Free Refreshments. It's a pretty fun little thing. You just create an image based on the request of the person before. So that's fun. The quest boards have some new challenges. You can go and check those out. We are also currently going through the World Cup Phase 2. So I'm not sure when voting will start for the community, but that is ongoing. If you're on one of those teams, you have to get it done by the 23rd, I believe. I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Willow, for keeping track of chat for me. It is much appreciated.
No worries, I enjoyed myself.
And I did have a ton of fun doing some random tests. Again, all of our testing was live. Some of it I played with a little bit, but most of it was just seat of the pants. We'll check it out type of thing. Hope everybody did enjoy. We'll have a couple of more streams throughout the week. I think Zara does his stream on Wednesday. I'm not sure if Tom is going to do his on Friday, but we definitely will have weekly events that pop up. Just keep an eye out on the event channel. And yeah, thank you so much for coming.